Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the earpiece speaker in the OnePlus One. I'll include links in the video description for any tools that I'm going to be using during this process today, and any parts that I'm going to be replacing. I'll include links where I found them for the best price, so you can check them out there. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your device is powered off, and then you can use the SIM eject tool and make sure to remove the SIM card tray here. To start removing the back cover, what I found works really well. If you have like a screwdriver or something, and you can just carefully pry in here by the headphone jack just to get it started a little bit. The back will start separating a little bit right there. Then what we can do is use something like a plastic pry tool like this or something, and if you get started here, just keep working your way around. Sometimes the corners are the trickiest right there. So just keep working your way around. Then once you get close and you get these, usually the whole part comes off just like that. Next, what we need to do is use a tweezers or something and remove these little covers covering the screw. There's 3 up here. So we'll go ahead and remove those using a tweezers or something to get them off. Next, what we will need to do is use a Phillips screwdriver size 000, and we're going to need to remove all these screws that are on top here. Those are different size, so make sure to keep them separate. There's one screw up in this top corner that's covered with a white protective cover as well, and you want to pull that off and remove that screw as well. So next, what we can do is use something like a screwdriver or something that you can pry with carefully right here in the headphone jack. Just pry up carefully, and if you can get it under there where you can get your fingernail under it and hold it, then if you can pry up with something carefully, and then this here will pop up like that, and then, excuse my hands, but you can just tip this up and it just comes apart like that. So next, what you want to do is using your plastic pry tool or your fingernail or something, go ahead and remove all these connectors here. We're going to start with this one right here, do the battery next. Now I'd recommend a plastic pry tool versus a metal one, just so you for sure don't damage anything. Just get all these connectors down through here. And there's this connector over here. Next, what you want to do, this volume button right here, we're going to have to remove this flex cable right here. What I've found that seems to work the best is if you start right in here with something, very carefully start on this part right here, and you can just kind of work it over as you go. It's just held in with some adhesive, and then it just comes loose like that. So now the power button on this side is the same way. Just work that loose. Now next, there's a Phillips screw right in here that we're going to have to remove. I already removed it, but I just wanted to show you. Next, we will need something to pry with. Very carefully pry up on the board and just watch the power and volume button here. Now you want to just carefully pry up like this. And then there's an antenna wire right in here that we're going to need to disconnect next. Can't really show it the best disconnecting it, but it's right in there. Then once you do that, then the board is free to come right out. To change the earpiece speaker, what you need to do is it's located right here, and you can just get under it very carefully with something like a tweezers or something, and it's held in by adhesive, and you just carefully pull up and it comes out just like that. So next, just grab your new part, make sure that it's turned the right way. It has a notch on this side and a notch on this side, so you can see it can only fit down in there one way. We'll just set it right down in there, press down firmly, and you're all set. Next, to reinstall the logic board, what you need to do is reconnect this antenna wire right here onto the logic board right here. Getting this antenna wire hooked up is a little tricky because you don't have a whole lot of length to work with, but what I found is if you just get down in there and use your fingernails and thumbnail to push it together, it seemed to work the best. Just make sure it's seated properly. Just be patient with it, take your time. Then once you're all done with that, now we got to set the board down in here. We got to watch a lot of connectors, so let's make sure this one stays out of the way, and just make sure that these are all up out of the way here, and then it should just kind of sit right down in there. Make sure that the rear camera is sitting down properly. Make sure the front camera is sitting down properly. And then we'll go ahead and put this black screw in over here before we forget it, right there. And then we're gonna work on reconnecting everything. So let's go ahead and reconnect this connector up here. Make sure the camera is sitting down properly, like I said, the rear and the front camera. So let's just go down the row here. So now let's just make sure these are all connected down through here, all 5 of these, this one. And then what we want to do is reconnect these volume buttons right here. They just have adhesive on them. They just kind of set right down, and you can pretty much tell they just go right in place. So the power button and then the volume buttons right here, they go right in place. Next, we'll grab this cover, set it right down on here. Should just snap right in. And we'll go ahead and put all our screws back in here and put these plugs in, these covers, after you put these screws in. To put the back cover back on, just grab your back cover, set it down on here, start at the top and work your way down around. Just make it snap in all the way. You can check your reveals all the way around and grab your SIM card, put your SIM card back in, and you're all set. Thanks for watching.